Hello, 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 and welcome. Let me just make sure it's up and running here. Cool, looks good. Well, hello, welcome to Yoga with Janelle, our Sunday evening edition. I was thinking tonight, or maybe even on my weekends, specifically the Sundays, that I would do a little bit of a shorter one just to give me a little more time with my family and unwind and I don't know. I'm always just a little run down on Sunday nights, so I thought that would be a fair compromise. Since I do these every evening, and maybe you don't want a full 1 hour one either, so then you can always use the Sunday nights one as that reference for the shorter classes. So, but we'll see. Sometimes once I get into it, I just keep going and going and going. So let's get some yoga going. So yeah, tonight is our Sunday night class, a little bit of hip focused, gentle-ish style, so probably not the easiest class you will have ever done, but definitely nothing like that full vinyasa class that's pretty typically offered. So my goal is to make yoga a little bit more accessible for people who are maybe new to yoga or newer to fitness, so that we can all partake together, or maybe, if you've got like aches or pains or injuries, hopefully that these classes will be able to work for that as well. So if you got a mat rolling out, find your happy spot and let's jump on in and get started with just a bit of a practice here. So starting in any position that you would like to, or you can start to get centered, feel a little settled, start to become aware of the body, maybe even feel comfortable closing your eyes. So whether you want to do that seated, great option, or laying down is actually quite delightful as well. So you can settle in whatever position you find yourself in. Let's try not to hunch and slouch into this. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. So even if you're laying down, roll those shoulders down, have that slight tuck at the chin, and really start to find a little bit of length through the spine. So that actively pressing the head upwards, feeling right there. I'm feeling my spine start to relax and release. Those little jelly discs are sucking back in between the vertebrae, making me a little bit taller. So all day long with gravity crunching down on them, or bad posture, or a combination of the two, they kind of flatten out and they kind of get fatigued. So if you actively pull up and pulls them in, it actually feels like really good and really nurturing for the spine once you start to become aware of that. And then go ahead and let's connect with the breath and scan through the body, get all those nice good yogi things done. And so the beginning of a class is usually a little bit of, the yoga term is centering, but really as you start to connect in with the breath and become aware of how you're physically feeling, that will help you adjust and correct your own alignment. And so if you don't have a mirror that you're practicing in front of, I know a lot of studios have mirrors, there's positives and negatives to both of them. Or if you don't have a teacher that's able to come around and either correct alignment, which to be honest, I don't think I can count on one hand. There's 3 instances that I actually came up and corrected one. First, she asked me to. But I tend not to do that because I never know how you're feeling in that day. Maybe you are really tired and your arms or your shoulders are weighing down a little bit heavier, and you just don't want to quite keep them up and find that full extension. I have no position over anyone to tell them that that is wrong. So the only time that I really correct alignment is when I think that you're going to be injuring yourself. And I try to verbally cue to the whole class because I never know, maybe someone else will connect with it as well and find more depth in the pose opposed to singling someone out. So that's my views on physical touch and alignment. So this pre-part of class, as you start to sense in and feel maybe those little tight shoulders, or how's your neck feeling, that's really important to me and for my classes, because as you start to sense in and feel that, maybe you can feel, oh, yeah, I'm a little lopsided here. Let me correct that and balance that back out. And maybe you find that extra bit of stillness. Maybe you can connect in with that breath. And as you're finding those areas of tension, using that exhale to release, to let go, like that big sigh where everything softens and relaxes. But remember, keep finding that length. So let's take a couple of nice big breaths to try to work with that nice big inhale and an exhale. Taking another one, inhaling nice and big. Exhale, release. And a third one, inhaling through the nose. Feel the body lift as you keep breathing in. Get as much air in your lungs and into your belly as you possibly can. And exhale, nice and slow, maybe out through the nose. Slowly letting it go. Excellent. All right, whether you are seated like me or if you're laying down, let's make our way into a reclined position. Actually, no, we'll just stay seated. Sorry, changing my plans. So we'll just start seated here. Let's start to warm up through the shoulders and through the spine. So let's take that nice big inhale, reach those arms up. And exhale, pull the hands towards heart center. Release down, inhale, sweep it up. So taking 3 of these nice breaths, you can look up, take a little back bend if you want. And on that exhale, you can even bow down, rounding through like a seated cat-cow. One more nice big one, reaching up, feel that extension, and exhale, pull the hands down towards heart. Beautiful. Let's relax the hands, reach for the opposite knee, bring that arm out, find that length, and start to open up, reaching that hand all the way around. Maybe it presses down just behind that tailbone. Inhale to lengthen. Get as tall as you can, and exhale to twist a little deeper. So maybe you just simply look over that shoulder and engaging through the neck is all you want to do to deepen that twist. Maybe you want to start to gently press into the hands to rotate the shoulders a little bit more around, finding that extra depth that way. Outstanding. Feel that nice twist all the way through. Can you start to be aware of the spine all the way from the tailbone all the way through the middle? Can you feel that nice little squeeze on all the internal organs through the shoulders, nice twist, and through the neck? Beautiful. Let's release. Come back towards center. Maybe you just rest your hands on your knees, roll those shoulders back and down. Take a couple little shoulder rolls here. Going backwards nicely, starting to warm up a little more through the shoulders. Find that stillness. Excellent. Let's bring hand to opposite knee now. Reach that hand forward and open it up, coming all the way around. Maybe it plants in right behind that tailbone. Inhale, get as tall as you can. Really pull that core in, tuck the chin, extend nice and long, and that exhale to deepen. Maybe just rotating through the neck or starting to press in and pulling yourself a little bit more like an owl, spinning around towards the back. Beautiful. Connecting in, feeling that breath, feel that twist on this side. Notice, was there a difference on this side opposed to the other side? Maybe find it a little bit easier. Maybe you find or feel there's more restriction. All right, let's start to slowly release and come back towards center. And I love taking a nice forward fold right off the bat, helping release that lower spine. So let's start hands at center, squeeze in, lift the heart, and then exhale, start to bow forward and find that sweet spot. Maybe elbows on the knees. Maybe you can touch down to the floor in front of you. Maybe you walk those hands out a little bit more. So trying to keep that back nice and flat here. So my back is still flat, and then I'm going to drop my head down. Beautiful. If you want now, you can release, relax around through those shoulders, get that extra bit of depth through the body. And slowly, let's come on up. Let's switch through the feet. So if you're sitting crisscross, odds are you have your one foot on top, and it's the same foot that's always naturally on top. I've got to be intentional about bringing my opposite side on top. So working with that nice non-dominant side, feeling into those sits bones, and give a nice little wiggle. Let's take those 3 cat-cow breaths. So inhale, reach on up. Maybe you look up, tip the head back. Maybe you just reach the arms up or start to reach the arms back behind you. Pull the hands to heart center and take that nice little bow. Reach on up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. One more. Rounding through. Beautiful. Let's just reach up and hold this time. So we're reaching up, engaging. and tip on over towards one side. So getting a nice side bend in now. You can plant the hand down, reach that top arm up, over, keep pressing in towards the legs. Oh, this feels so good. I've enjoyed pulsing in these here, so instead of doing a nice static stretch, I've started finding that edge and releasing. It's been a fun little journey seeing how that plays around and changes things. All right, press all the way up, hands come up and over towards the other side. Beautiful. Couple pulses, couple nice breaths. Maybe come down onto your forearm. Oh, I don't have that at all tonight. That's okay. A little tight through the back. That's okay. Feels good. Press all the way up. Reach up. I've interlaced the fingers, coming to a nice steeple to find all of that length. And then now I'm bringing my hands in front and I'm going to plant them down. Nice flat back. So you can walk your hands a little bit farther. You can bring them in a little bit closer, finding what you want on this side. You might even feel that through the hip of that top leg. Maybe through the glute. Nice pull into the hands. You can drop that head down. Still trying to keep the back flat though. Not rounding into it yet. Beautiful. Let's press on up. Coming back up to seated. Roll those shoulders back and down. Bring one arm across the body. Let's get into a nice gentle shoulder stretch here. So you can either hold on at the elbow, you can even grab the hand, give that wrist a nice big stretch. Just feeling that through that bicep and that tricep, probably a little more through the tricep than up top. Here, you can even pulse it. So actually, in my opinion, it feels so good to pulse, especially if you've been doing lots of chaturangas or working with that little yogi push-up or real push-ups. Not real, yogi push-ups are still real push-ups. They're actually super safe for your shoulders. They're the best version to protect your shoulders. So if you're doing lots of reps, hugging your elbows in is a great one. All right, let's release that shoulder and give it a nice little shake out and come in towards the other side. Beautiful. Maybe taking a little moment in stillness and finding that sweet spot. And then you can add in that nice little pulse on this side. Connecting. Oh, feels so good. Clearly just need a nice stretchy class. Tomorrow will be the yin yang class where we take some time and stretch things out. Really nice and good. Tonight I still want to get a little movement in. Excellent. Couple more little pulses here. Got to keep it even to the other side. Still trying to count it out and talk. All right, let's release. Give those shoulders a nice little shake, couple rounds, and let's make our way into a nice all fours position. So if you just roll over onto knees, or hang on, I just got to turn the volume off my phone so it stops dinging at us. All right, so a nice tabletop position, nice all fours position, whatever you want to call it. Hips over the knees, shoulders over the hands, fingers nice and wide. Feel that nice big surface area. And let's drop the belly down, start to look up, press in. Oh, feel that great stretch through the spine. Start to tuck the chin in and then round through the spine. Nice counter stretch to that back bend. A nice big arch through the spine. Drop everything down. Look the head up, and then round it through. You can move at your own breath here. So the inhales are to look up. The exhales are to round through the spine. Excellent. Come and find that nice neutral position. And let's just make our way into a nice downward dog. So I'm tucking my toes underneath, then pressing into my hands, lifting up. Maybe you need to adjust the stance. I always like to come a little bit taller in my stance, so my hands and my feet farther apart. Just feels so much better for me. You can pedal with the legs, the feet, getting that nice stretch through the calves, through the back line of the legs. Keep pressing into those hands nice and strong. Excellent. Let's take a quick little flow here. So coming to your plank position, maybe you drop those knees down. Let's lower down with control, letting those elbows graze the ribs. So coming down nice and slow and pressing up into your back bend. Tuck the toes under and take that nice downward dog. Big inhale and an exhale. Beautiful. Let's hop, step, or jump into a forward fold. Oh, feeling that nice stretch on the back line of the legs. If this is painful on the legs, try bending the knees. That'll help release some of that tension, some of that tightness that might exist there. Inhale, halfway up. Nice flat back. Roll those shoulders back and down. Bend through the knees, sink the hips, sweep those arms up. Quick little chair pose. Press all the way up to standing, reach on up. And start center. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Excellent. Step that right foot back, coming into our warrior two stance. So toes pointing towards the outside or the long edge of the mat. My front toes are still pointing forward. I'm going to bring a bend to that front leg, feeling that nice stretch through the inner thigh. Reach those arms out, activating into those arms. Gaze can be forward. That's the traditional warrior two stance. And if you're noticing here that this is really hard, just bring your feet a little bit closer together. That might help. So if you're really kind of straightening through the leg and can't quite bend into that leg, then bring the feet closer together. If you bring the feet closer and you find yourself hanging out with this knee way over the foot, that's a great sign that you can add more distance between them. Being brave to take more. Now let's take a nice big inhale. Lift through the heart. Exhale, pull those ribs in, engage through the core, pressing firm into the feet. Excellent. Sink a little lower and drop that elbow down to the knee. Reach the hand up. Wonderful extended side angle. So whether the hand, elbow is connecting with the ear, maybe it goes straight up, whatever you'd like. So this is our most gentle variation, is with this left elbow or left arm on the leg. If you want a little more, you can start to even reach it down. You don't have to touch the ground, but I'm pressing into that leg, trying to activate it, and I'm keeping that knee over the foot. It's nice to have top arm come all the way up, but you can keep it going overhead if you'd prefer. Excellent. If you want more still, you can float both arms up, feel the core, feel those arms really engage, and let's come all the way up to our warrior two, sinking into it nice and strong. Lock the legs, so not moving the legs at all. Flip that front palm up, tip it back. Nice exalted warrior. So I'm sinking through that front knee. Hand can be on the hip, tracking down the leg, crawling behind the back, whatever you'd like. Feel that nice side bend stretch. The more you lift through the arm, the more you'll stretch through the side, through that ribs. Excellent. Come on back, warrior two. Reach on out. Nice and strong. Sink into it. Beautiful. Let's bring those hands to heart center. Press in, squeeze those shoulder blades, and let's twist the shoulders towards the front of the mat. So at some point here, you're going to feel some pull on that back leg. By all means, of course, let's hop up onto those back toes to really square those hips towards the front of the mat. Shoulders are aligned, but now we're no longer twisting. So let's keep that twist going. Twisting a little more, pressing into that back leg, trying to align the shoulders. So I'm staying up here. Oftentimes we bend down and hook the elbow, which of course you can take if you want. Keep bending into that leg. Keep twisting and pressing. If you want more, you can reach the arms out. Excellent. Nice big inhale. And an exhale. Another inhale. And exhale, start to release and just drop the hands down and make your way into a low lunge position. So dropping that back knee down, you can pat it up however you might need to, adjusting the distance farther apart for more of a challenge, closer together for more gentleness. Inhale. Roll left hip back, right hip forward. Feel that nice stretch through the quad, through the hip flexors on that right side, maybe even through that left hamstring. I'm going to take a little moment, a little pulse in. So my hands are framing the front foot, but your arms can be up top if that's not accessible. Or even if you've got a couple yogi blocks. Feels really good, just adds a little feedback in. Excellent, find that stillness. And now I'm bringing both hands to the inside of that leg. I'm walking my left foot out ever so slightly to make room for my shoulders. Trying to press both hands down into the ground, or you can fingertip, or if you've got a big book, that could work as well. Send those hips forward. Feel that nice stretch. So if you're not feeling really anything on your quad here and you want to, you can start to bend that back knee. That'll add more of a pull, more of a stretch. If you want, you can even reach for the foot. My quads are real tight tonight, so I'm not going to do that. You can just pull it in towards the sits bones. And then if you want a little more through that left hip, you can start to drop the knee open, coming onto the side edge of that foot. So let me turn and show you what we got going on here. So you maybe are hanging out here. Maybe you're starting to drop that knee open. Still finding length though, so if those shoulders are hunching up, roll the shoulders back and down. Opening up through that knee. Excellent. Oh, nice big stretch. Feels so good. All in the hip. A little bit through the quads. Lots through the quads. All right, let's start to tuck that knee back in. Let me just wiggle back to be on my mat so I don't slip and fall. And then let's start to frame that front foot, so wiggling it back into more of a more neutral position. And straighten out, take that runner's stretch. So flexing of the foot. You can stay down. You can bring the hands up onto the hips. Wherever you're getting the hamstring stretch works for me. So whether you're hanging out here and just flexing the foot, whether you add the forward fold in, whether you sit back on that back foot, it's all potato to me. Really, this pose here, sitting on the back foot, is the same as sitting up, except it's a little bit less on the leg, the right leg. All right, bring a bend back into it. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up for that nice low crescent lunge. Reach up, maybe look up, maybe take the back bend. If you're tipping back, though, keep trying to find length from the spine, not just crumpling into it. Come on, back up. Release the hands down. Let's tuck those back toes under. Press on up for our high lunge. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, step towards the front of the mat. Let's inhale, reach those arms up, nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. So noticing the difference between one side and the other. Maybe one hip feels a little more open. Maybe that hamstring is finding some more length. Drop that head down and give it a nice big shake. No. Great, let's inhale, halfway lift. Nice and strong. I'm pressing into my legs here to find that extra bit of length. Rolling my shoulders back and down, extending through the crown of the head. Bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep on up. Quick little chair pose. Press all the way up to standing, reach up. Hands start center. Excellent. This time stepping left toes back. So I'm going to just switch to the opposite side now. So left toe is pointing towards the long edge of your mat. Right toe is pointing forward. Find your warrior two stance. So bending through that right knee. Reaching those arms out. Maybe even gaze goes forward. Looking over that right hand. Beautiful. Sink in a little more. Feel that nice stretch through the inner thigh on that left side. Excellent. Let's come into our extended side angle. Dropping right elbow towards the knee, reaching up overhead. Maybe you reach all the way up. You can even just have your hand, you do the island roll teapot hand on the hip. Reach up or over, or if you want more, start to reach down, pressing in. Find that nice length. Still pressing through the crown of the head, still pressing into the feet. Whole body is nice and active here. Excellent. All right, let's float back up to our warrior two. Nice and strong, lock through the legs. Flip that front palm up and start to tip it back for that exalted warrior. Reverse warrior. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Keep bending through that front leg. Beautiful. Let's come on back up, warrior two. Oh, that was a great stretch. So bring the hands towards heart center and start to twist towards the right now. So finding that spot where you're feeling that twist and pull on the hip, that's a good indication that it's time to hop up onto those back toes, trying to find that balance. Now we've squared everything towards the front, so let's keep that twist going, twisting more towards the right. Keep pressing in to the feet. Keep trying to spin the hips and the shoulders around. If you want more, you can reach those arms out. Excellent. One big inhale. See if you can take a breath even though we're twisting. Exhale, let it out. One more nice big inhale. And exhale, let's start to release. Coming back to that nice high lunge position. And then drop that back knee down. So if you need to brace yourself on that knee, great option. Adjusting the distance if you want more for more intensity. Less for less. And roll right hip back, left hip forward. Try to frame that front foot. So even if you're really high up on your fingertips, or if you got a little block, the goal here is to get into the left quads, a little bit in through the hip, lengthen through the spine, and remembering to breathe. Is that enough yet? Excellent. Nice big inhale. And an exhale. All right, now I'm going to transition this so that I'm bringing both hands to the inside of the leg, coming into that little lizard pose. Maybe you're keeping that knee hugged in. You can walk that foot out a little bit to make a little space for those arms and shoulders. Maybe you open up that hip, letting the knee fall open, coming onto the side edge of the foot. Keep finding length. So if you're hunching into this, see if you can lengthen. This pose shows my scoliosis pretty well. So that's fun. But that's okay. It's a part of who I am. Got a little rounding, extra rounding through the spine. That's okay. And adjusting through here. Keep rolling that left hip forward to feel that. If you want more, you can start to bend through the knee. Maybe even reach around and reach for the foot. Hugging the heel in towards the chest. Nope, hugging the heel in towards the sits bones. Maybe you release. Find what works for you. Start to bring that right knee back in towards the shoulder. Wiggle that foot to that more neutral position. Hips are nice and squared. And start to stretch into it. And coming into that nice runner stretch. So bringing hips over back knee. Flexing through those right toes. You can come up if you'd like. You can embrace for the forward fold, either reaching the hands down or reaching for the toes. You can sit on that back foot. If that feels okay on that left knee. Nice big inhale. And an exhale. Great. All right, let's start to come out of this. So if you're sitting on that foot, journey on back up. Let's start to bend through that right side. Nice and strong here. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Take that nice low crescent lunge. Keep rolling your right hip back. Maybe you simply just reach the arms up. Pull that core in a little bit. Pull those bottom ribs in. Maybe the gaze goes up. Maybe you reach up and start to reach back. Feeling that nice big stretch through the front body. Nice heart opener here. Come on back up towards neutral. Drop those hands down. Maybe you brace yourself in that front knee. Tuck the back toes under. Press on up. Finding that nice high lunge position. Reach up. One more nice big stretch through the body here. Maybe you take another little back bend. And release the hands. Step towards the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands. Take a nice big step back for your downward dog. Drop the knees nice and wide, push back, take your child's pose. Nice recovery position here. Head is below the heart. Tells your body it's okay to relax. Connect in with that breath. Maybe your arms are more active and you're pressing or pulling into them. And maybe you just soften, coming down onto forearms. Beautiful. Let's start to come on up. And you can make your way into a seated position or a reclined position, getting ready for your Shavasana. Crazy to think we are there already. I'm going to just come to seated so it doesn't look I'm just sleeping on camera. And taking a couple of moments to take a nice big inhale. Fill the lungs, exhale, let it go. Take another couple of those, inhale, nice and big. And exhale, release. So taking maybe some time to explore some more movement, maybe adding that nice freestyle portion into the class. I think this is the first class I haven't finished with a happy baby. I feel like I need to do something to reset the spine. So I'm gonna plant the feet, holding on to the knees and adding that nice resistance, pulling into the knees, lifting through the spine, pressing into those sits bones, rolling my shoulders back and down, finding all of that nice length. Beautiful. So as you take your time to finish up, maybe taking that nice meditative state in that Shavasana pose or that corpse pose, I challenge you to take a full 15 inhales, nice and slow, connecting with the breath, letting them go, relaxing, softening, deepening. Maybe you scan through the body, or maybe you just focus in on the breath. Take exactly what you need. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening or day whenever you end up doing this one. Thank you so much for joining me. May the rest of your day be filled with joy, and may you always be blessed. Namaste. Beautiful.